gosh, sit, relax. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad to be here. We've got a really, really good show today. Today's guest is Jamie Weatherly. He's chef, a chef turned author whose journey from addiction to authenticity is as compelling as it is courageous. His memoir, Unloaded, right here, doesn't just chronicle recovery, it explores identity, ego, and the emotional weight we carry when we're not living as ourselves. With 20 years of sobriety, national awards, and a growing community of readers, Jamie brings humor, humility, and heart to every conversation. So I'm excited to talk to him. Whether he's speaking at recovery centers or lighting up Halloween with purple lights, Jamie reminds us that it's never too late to rewrite your story and live fully. So if that sounds like a good show to you, click the like button, click the share button, and let's start.
Make your day richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
Jamie, thank you so much for being here.
No, I appreciate it.
And congratulations on the book, Unloaded. Did you always, I want to first see before we talk about what's in the book, was writing, being an author, was that on your bucket list?
It was told by many people that it was on my bucket list, and it was something that I was naturally gifted with. In middle school and in high school, I was in creative writing. I had written short stories. I had written poetry, and I was also very good with just spoken word. I would do a lot of award ceremonies or motivational things for my team, and I was always the one that didn't need to write anything down. It was just natural to me. So I was real good with expressing emotion and expressing feelings, and I blame a lot of it on that midlife crisis. And I buried a lot. I went through college and I didn't make it through college, which is part of the book as well. Buried a lot of my talents. And as you get older, those people that encourage you to chase your dreams and do all this, which is something else I focus on, never give up and you're never too old. Those voices go away and you settle in. I had settled into a job that I loved. I hate downplaying it. I was a chef in a restaurant and was at the same restaurant for about 20 years when this project started happening. And I still every now and then would think about it. And it's interesting. It was a coworker that one night I had already started thinking about leaving the restaurant industry. I was the executive chef. I was very good at it. It was a stressful, busy, fire. You're in the fire, but being at it for so long, I could still joke around and have fun. And I was always telling stories. And one of my coworkers looked at me and said, you should write a book. And they didn't know that I already had one. I was planning an exit strategy. I hadn't turned in a notice yet or anything. And I said, you know what? Now's the time.
That's, yes, a sign, right?
Yeah. And I thank her. She's in the notes and everything. I thank her very much because she kind of maybe didn't light the fire, but blew on it and got it ignited again.
Well, tell everybody about the book Unloaded, what they can find in it, and then I want to talk about everything leading up to that. Well, not everything. We'll be here for 4 hours, but let's talk about that.
Well, Unloaded is a book for everybody. It's a book told from my point of view that involves not super deep, scary war stories, but some of the things that I put myself through my decisions and my lifestyle. I'm a recovering drug addict, alcoholic, and a unique part of my story, my mom and dad, we live in South Charlotte. They still live in the same house. They've lived for 52 years. And I stress that with people because I went down this path that you associate. I didn't sit on the front porch and watch gang activity. I didn't have split parents. I didn't go for this holiday over here, this holiday. I didn't come from a broken home. The American dream of being a white Christian straight male, like I hit lottery bingo, and I still just through a combination of my mental self-imprisonment, my decisions, environments I chose to put myself in, and just directions I went, got myself in a lot of trouble. Now the book, as I put things down and was trying to tell a story, I discovered that it's not just for alcoholics and drug addicts. And I did go through a recovery program, but the underlying theme of the human being and the emotions, and I use that word self-sabotage and self-imprisonment. We lie to ourselves.
Mhm.
We hold ourselves accountable to standards that aren't even real. I do quote, gosh, I forgot his name, Chuck, the Fight Club, the book and the movie.
Oh, yeah.
He talks about, you work at a job that you don't like to make money that you don't need to spend on things you don't even like to impress people you don't know. Like you fall into that cycle, and at least I did, and you're holding yourself to this scoreboard, as I call it, where nobody's really paying attention to you.
Mhm.
You learn to live freely and learn to love hard and learn to pursue your dreams and chase, recognize who you're supposed to be. I was constantly running away from just Jamie and never took the
Yeah.
time to figure out who he was. I had 4, 5, 6 different groups of friends and 4, 5, 6 different personalities
Yeah.
and stories and backgrounds. And when they started overlapping, that's when my brain started exploding, and I was just constantly running.
Yeah. That's a lot to keep up with and
Yeah.
to organize and to figure out who I'm with. And yeah, I totally. When did the book come out?
I think it's so cool that it was actually published on February 29th, 2024. So
Wow.
it did come out on the leap year, and I got that one little day. My mother's birthday is February 28th, so it's a very kind of cool little time frame there. But it's been out for over a year and a half. As soon as it came out, my publishers, which are local to Charlotte, Spark Publications, entered me in a few things I didn't know about, and I won 2 national awards, communicator awards. One is for the layout, which is really a lot what they did. They kind of got into my brain and designed it. There's a lot of my tattoo imagery in there.
Cool.
And so one award was for the book, but another was for bringing awareness to causes, which is the addiction and the alcoholism. And then recently, Charlotte Magazine, which is kind of a popularity contest, but I was able to, hopefully people believed in me to solicit enough votes to be named best author for 2025.
How long did it take to write this?
Well, this book, about a year, but the
Yeah.
book before it, about 2 years, because I really wrote about 3 books
Okay.
because this was not the original plan.
Mm.
And again, credit to my publisher that I just very fortunate to stumble upon. 2 people recommended that I trusted, that they didn't know each other. And I said, you know what? That's good enough for me, that they had published books. And I turned in something to which was basically thrown away. I gave them this manuscript, Googled everything, I mean, it was cookie cutter, this many pages, this many whatever, and this many chapters. Here's some footers, here's some things to take up space. And to her credit, the lady's Fabi that owns it, and she's the one that's in charge. She read it all and cut out about 2 or 3 sentences and said, "This is the only thing that matters in this manuscript," which I guess I accidentally put in some inspirational, and this is where I was and this is where I am now. It was kind of centered around my life in the restaurant industry, and I was trying to capitalize on Anthony Bourdain's first book, very
Mhm.
similar of those crazy stories of anybody and everybody you meet and the partying and the rock and roll and all the underbelly as he called it. And she's, there's a message. She explained to me, there's a message in here that you could really touch people's soul. You can really help people if you're willing to do that. And she said, if you're willing to write that book, I'll work with you. Otherwise, you might,
Go somewhere else.
yeah.
Yeah. So what are you hearing from the people that have read this, and what are you taking all that in?
It's very, believe it or not, I have an ego problem. Being a huge wrestling fan, also, like I like the spotlight, but as soon as I get it, I'm like, oh no, why do? It's been very humbling. My wife is my biggest supporter. That she kind of lets me take it in, but also grounds me with it. Like I still have to take the trash out. We still have the kids that have to have baths. There's kind of 3 different categories of feedback that I get, and one are people that are in recovery or suffering with alcoholism or drug addiction or know somebody, and they're just super appreciative because it, like I think I said, take away the exterior, take away the background, the financial situation, the education, and it's a human emotion that you're speaking to me in a way that I understand. Like I have felt that. And then another category is, and this is actually one of my favorites, where few weirdo friends that I have, I call them, that have never drank alcohol, never done any drugs, friends of mine that got the book to support me, which is cool because if you have a local business, you need to support them. They read it and I've had phone calls and text messages where almost in tears and breathless, like, this has nothing to do with drugs and alcohol. This is about being a great person. They're like, I couldn't have put this, and it humbles me. And I look at it outside of myself that thank you for this gift. To be a leader on any level, I'm really appreciative of that. And then also another category is just the complete strangers, which blows my mind. People that reach out to me on my website, jamieweatherly.com, or my Facebook or Instagram with, hey, we've never met, or hey, I'm in New York City, and apparently you used to work with the bartender that I work with, and he gave me your book, and it's just mind-blowing that I feel like you wrote this about me. And I get that from males and females and people older than me and people younger than me, and it's just a true testament that we really are very similar when you scrape all this away. And a lot of it's fear-based, a lot of it's ego-based, and I think there's some people that don't have a problem with it, and they live their life. Praise you. I'm very happy for you, but there's a lot of us that are scared. We're scared. We're scared to succeed because that builds expectations. We're scared to fail, and we're scared to try. And I was scared to write a book, and it's worked out pretty well for me and a few people that have read it. So I'm very thankful for it.
I'm always curious where titles come from. So, I mean, you've got the whole brand of Unloaded, which clearly has taken off. But where did that come from?
It is a brainchild of my publishing team, and I had one of our editors, Sherry DeMayo, that helped me construct the book. All the words are mine, all the chapters and everything, but it was basically I threw her all the Rubik's Cube pieces and she put them together. She formatted it for me. And it's kind of a play on words of being loaded, when you've had too much to drink or you're overly inebriated where you're loaded. But it's also, as I've learned, it's funny because the book stays the same, but I evolve as I go on. It's being unafraid. It's being who you're supposed to be. It's being all in, betting on yourself. Like when it's all said and done, whether it's the end of the day and you're laying down to go to bed, or it's the end of your cycle and they're putting you away, hopefully you're empty, you're unloaded, you gave it all that you have, no regrets, no fears. There's nothing that you left nothing on the table.
I love that. September is National Recovery Month. It's also, September's a pretty big month for you. And this is 20 years.
It'll be 20 years, September 29th, which oddly enough, I didn't plan that. I didn't know that in 2005 when I was realizing I was completely changing my life. But I had gone through a couple different outpatient rehab programs here in Charlotte, 10 years apart because I didn't take the first one seriously. And September 29th, after a good decade or so of just daily abuse, I had enough. And I had the right people, counselors at this recovery center that said the right things at the right time. And some of that's in the book. It's another one of those, I don't believe in chance, the way that everything just folds together, that this person was where they needed to be at the right time for me. It'll be 20 years. And I was just thinking about that today. My sobriety now is beginning to exceed the actual amount of time that I was actually actively, active abuser and alcoholic. So it's humbling. It's amazing. I have a good circle of friends that almost have, a few of us have the same amount of time. So it's kind of cool to realize, I fit in society. I can go, gracious. This past week, I went to a Cypress Hill concert. And I stayed sober the whole time, and I go to football games and I can go to parties, but I mean, I'm just comfortable with who I am now. And I don't have to, I'm not running anymore.
That brings up a really good question, or I guess topic, when you're talking about how it's actually been longer now that you've been sober than not in your life. When that happens, I think for a lot of things, like kids who did grow up in bad circumstances, who, like, at some point, does your story for yourself self change, so you're not always that. Like for me, it was the kid who had parents who had cancer, and we were in hospitals all the time. But it's been so long since I've been that kid. So like, at what point, like, do you think, oh, how do I reframe my own mentality so I'm not stuck in that I thing that I was? Does that make sense?
Well, I think it makes sense.
Let's cut this out if it's
when,
not good.
when I first started this journey of being sober, it was very intense and it was very difficult. I mean, of course, there was physical withdrawals and being ill. I did chose Alcoholics Anonymous, and I'm not a stickler for anything. It's something I'm big on, and I will stop what I'm saying to say that. There's meditation, there's other groups, there's other step programs, I know people that do the California sober and they live a happy life. I don't endorse or damn any of
Whatever
them.
works.
Yeah,
Right?
like live and be happy and don't hurt yourself for others.
Yeah.
That's the path that I chose, and for the first 2 years I was very intense with it, at least one meeting a day, and then 2 meetings with I could, and reforming a social circle with that was really all it was. I had to leave other, they weren't friends, they were people that shared lowest common denominator friends is what I call them. And then started to just rebuild myself, where there's some lifetime friends that I was safe with, that I knew I could reintroduce them to the new life I was trying to live. And then eventually, fast forward, I have a 13-year-old and a 7-year-old. You know what I mean? Like life happens. And I think as I got further away, this came to me at the right time too, because it made me revisit, and it's gotten me to speak at a couple places. I got to speak at the recovery group that I went to. It's gotten me to go to some places of high security where I had to be locked in and then locked. So even writing it, I remember a couple nights, because writing a book, you got to treat it like a job. And I tell people that. I even speak at book clubs just on the process. Like for me, living in Charlotte and having a full-time job and having a wife with a full-time job and having 2 kids, it's not the Lifetime movie where you're sipping your coffee on the log cabin and you're watching the steam come up from the lake. Like, no, you're
on your 20th bestseller.
Yeah. I was like, I think it was Monday and Tuesdays. I told my family, asked my wife, please, I'm going to need to write between 5 and 8, whatever, this has got to be a job. And there were a couple times when I was going through some of the dark moments that it reminded me. And there were some things I used to laugh at, and I'm looking at it now so far removed that it's not me. Like this is that person that committed some very serious crimes that could have potentially killed some people. And I used to joke about it, even in sobriety, like, oh, that was that. And it was goosebump moments. And it reminded me, how special life is, how frail life is. It makes you want to hug your kids, and it makes you want to be appreciative. I think that's one of the biggest things, is just the gratitude. Yeah. I said I was at a book fair this past weekend, and somehow it took me 45 minutes to get there. It took me 20 minutes to get home because I got every green light. And that's the kind of, I preach on these little things, putting your shopping cart back and using your turn signal, but people are so quick to complain about the red lights. You need to be grateful for the green lights too. And it's just these little things that build, little grains of sand, that build bricks, that build, monuments.
Yeah. Speaking of events, people can meet you this weekend. Do you have a book signing this weekend?
Park Road Books, Park Road Shopping Center. They've actually been carrying my book right after it came out, and I've refilled them a couple times. They take 5 or 10 at a time. It's special to me because my grandmother used to live right across the street over there off Heather Lane. It's always been kind of my neighborhood. So I will be there. It's good for me because it's National Recovery Month. It's about 9 days before my 20th. Hopefully everything goes well, and it'll be a good day to share with people. Just to sit up there. I'll be there for a couple hours. I'll have my books. I'm not sure if they let me sell my hats and my shirts, but I am a merchant. They're in my car right now. I'm a merchandise fiend, and it's not just because of, you need to be branded. That's also the business side of it. I've got my website on everything that I have, and it's, the right person at the right time, at the right frame of mind just might see it and say, hey, what is that? And it might be exactly what they need to see.
Yeah. Yes. I could sit here all day and talk to you. What is the best way that people can connect with you?
So jamieweatherly.com is my website, which has book ordering information, but I also have blogs on there. I have 3 different categories of recovery, what I call Kitchen Daze, D-A-Z-E. It's kind of a satirical stories of some of my days in the restaurant, which was the original plan for the book. So I am getting to unload some of those. They didn't just go away on my computer. And then also just like inspiration and motivational that's not necessarily recovery related.
I love that. What do you love most about your life right now?
Oh my gosh, living, man.
Yeah.
My family. My family and having a wife that's so supportive. When I was making this transition and saying, okay, I'm leaving restaurants, I'm going to write a book. I have no idea what that is. And so I do have a full-time job. I'm still in food service industry, just not in restaurants. And I remember she looked at me and 2 things that just like, I'm so lucky. I'm hitting my microphone. She says, I got you. Like, I got you. Like, I've supported her. She's a genius and gotten herself 2 degrees and changed careers twice. And she said, you've supported me and I'm going to support you. And she also said, I just want, when this is all said and done, my biggest fear is that you're not going to be happy. And I said, and this is my wrestling promo, if I'm not happy, it's not all said and done. So you chase that dream until there's no sad endings.
Also, let's just all start in the comments of how Jamie should have a podcast, because I feel like he probably needs one. And you need to come back and do a cooking segment.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
New co-host this season, Jamie. One last thing. I want to ask if you'll play. It's not a game, but like a little game kind of. It's called Fave Rave.
Fave Rave?
Fave Rave.
Okay.
You pick a number 1 through 5.
4.
Okay. And I'm going to pick out random categories, and you tell me your favorite in those categories.
Okay. That's cool.
Your favorite pizza topping?
Oh, pepperoni.
Okay. Your favorite type of lighting?
Lighting?
Yeah. Your candlelight when you're writing your books, your Christmas lights. What's your favorite type?
I like purple lights.
Okay.
I was thinking because we're that house at Halloween. Like we're that house.
Uh-huh.
I know every neighborhood has a few, but we do real big on the purple.
Okay, love that. Your favorite sound?
Water.
Last one. Your favorite article of clothing? An unloaded T-shirt, probably.
Hats. Hats. My grandfather was buried in his hat. He always wore a hat. One time that he got mad at me was when we were on his fishing boat and I was driving and his hat flew off. It was the only time. And I don't know why. It's my mom's father. And I've always just worn hats and I will always wear hats. I've told my kids, they know that when the time comes. And shoes. I'm a shoe person. They know what pair of Jordans I want on my feet. And they know what
hat is on your head.
Yeah.
I love that. Jamie also is so nice. He's giving everyone in our not-existent studio audience a copy of his book. So thank you for that. And if you're watching at home and you want a copy of it, go in the comments and just put Jamie. And then you'll be entered to win a copy of the book.
Right on. And I'm going to sign that, right?
Yes, of course. Please do. Thank you so much for being
thank
here,
you. This
for
is awesome.
sharing your story, for building the community that you are. I really appreciate it.
That's great. I appreciate it.
Come back anytime.
Thank you.
Jamie, everybody. The book is unloaded. Go get a copy right now, and we'll be right back after this. Don't go away. Life is difficult. Are you feeling overwhelmed or like you could use a little support for your mental well-being? Visit the Help Hub. It's the most comprehensive and inclusive free online destination for mental health resources, helpful tools, crisis hotlines, and supportive content. Just go to thehelphub.co to find the resources you need when you need them most. Unlike other resource pages, the Help Hub is divided into 16 different categories, ensuring that everyone in every community has access to the resources and support that matches their unique needs. Find the help you're looking for at thehelphub.co. Welcome back, everyone. Hey, also yesterday was our season premiere. It was also the 3rd season of Before You Go, the podcast from Abode. And it's a podcast that I'm lucky enough to get to work on. And so they started their new season yesterday. And I want to show you a clip.
Y'all, when I chatted with Nurse Penny last season, Her visit to San Antonio seemed like such a long way away. But guys, it's this Saturday. Nurse Penny is coming to San Antonio to be our keynote speaker for Abode's annual training event on Saturday, September 20th at 5:30 p.m. at the Church of Reconciliation on San Antonio's northeast side. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet and you live in the San Antonio area, what are you waiting for? Please, you don't want to miss this. She's funny, irreverent, and always entertaining. She'll even stick around after she speaks for a book signing, so you get to meet her in person. Plus, your purchase of a ticket helps Abode with our mission of teaching the art of contemplative living and dying while providing end-of-life resources for our community at no charge.
You can learn more about Abode at abodehome.org. And if you need help with your podcast, your live stream, your videos, whatever, send me an email at makeyourdayricher@gmail.com and we will get you hooked up. On tomorrow's show, another great episode here on Premiere Week of Make Your Day Richer, Branch Isolet. His name is Branch, podcast host, and an amazing, amazing person that I am excited to have you meet. So go out there, have a great day. Go make your day richer. Go make somebody else's day richer. You've made mine by watching this show, and I love you for it. What I'd really love if you also bought me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/makeyourdayricher. All right, have a great day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.